You fabulous interior design professional. You are in the right place. This is Business of Design, and I'm Kimberley Seldon. I'm a little scattered this morning because I got a lot of client stuff going on, but I had to take time to do this interview with a wonderful guest who, if you're a fan of the podcast and you've been listening for a while, Jameelah Watkins-Mallett was on the show, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And at that point, she had a partner and they were relatively new to business. Well, today, Jameelah's on her own. She has her own company, Jameelah Divine Interiors and Lifestyle. She's launched her own conference for new interior design professionals called the CASE Conference, which is happening in Atlanta on July 12th and 13th, I think. I'm speaking on the 13th. In any case, and she's going to talk about her conference. And she has also been tapped and has done, I think, 2 or 3 seasons of Married to Real Estate on HGTV. So things have kind of exploded for Jameelah, as of course they should, because she just radiates this beautiful energy. And so we're going to talk about how to say yes with enthusiasm, how to know when it's time to maybe say no. We're going to talk about stepping into your power. You know, when you're first starting out and your knees are knocking, and you're not sure you know what you're doing. How do you stand in a place of being an expert when you don't quite feel like you're there yet? Jameelah has great advice for everyone, and I think you're really going to love meeting her. You know, Jameelah was a Business of Design member for years, and she says during the show that she adheres to our 15-step process, which I'm just so happy about. And so I thought this is a really good opportunity to say, if you have not yet stepped into fully embracing Business of Design, I don't mean just listening to the podcast. I'm so glad you do. But the podcast is here to tell you, oh my gosh, there's good things for you to learn if you join us at Business of Design. I can teach you how to run your business. There are courses that will teach you how to run your business, and I can teach you how to run projects from before the client gets in touch with you to the moment they get in touch with you, how to handle the consultation, how to sell the project, what to charge, how to guarantee your projects will be on time and on budget. There's really good things waiting for you inside Business of Design membership. There's nothing anywhere that remotely has the value we offer. And I can say that because I 100% guarantee we can change your business and we can change your life. And Jameelah's a great testimony to that. So happy you're here. Love the energy in the show. And I also love this person who we're going to hear from next, Cheryl Horn, Director of Operations at Business of Design. She's going to tell us what's going on. Thanks, everyone, for being here.
Thanks, Kimberly. Well, today I'm really just going to double down on a couple of things that Kimberly has already mentioned. Of course, we would love for you to be a member. All of our programming, we've got 50 hours teaching you how to run projects, how to run your business, and Kimberly walks you through all of that through video tutorials in all of our programs. So what I'd like to invite you to do is join us tomorrow for our next BOD Live, which are our monthly member meetings. And I'm going to be talking about implementation. As much as we say, running your business is 20% creative, 80% business, we sort of have the same learning model when it comes to our systems and procedures. So 20% of it is learning, which you can do at your own pace within membership. But then the other 80% is implementing. You are not going to see results if you don't take action on what you're learning. And that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I want to help you do that. Kimberly's here to teach you, and I am here to make sure that you take action, provide you with that support, answer your questions around that. So again, tomorrow, Wednesday, May 29th at 1 p.m. EST, join us for BOD Live. If you're already a member, this is included with your membership. If you want to sign up today to get in on this, I would love for you to do that as well. I would love to see you on that call face to face. And then our next event coming up, as Kimberly mentioned, she's going to be speaking at the CASE conference, and our guest today will tell you all about that. But I do want to mention that Kimberly will be speaking on July 13th And if you head to the website, complete details are on there. You can click through to the official website. And if you use code BOD150, you can save $150 on your ticket in support of our members, which is amazing. So head to the website for both of those. And of course, reach out to me, Cheryl at businessofdesign.com. If you have any questions at any time, I would love to hear from you. Take care.
Good morning, Jameelah. How are you?
I'm doing well, Kimberly. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm great. It has been a minute since I last spoke to you.
A
Catch me
long
up.
time.
What's been going on in your life?
Yeah, it's been a lot of things, but a lot of good things. When we first got on the podcast, and I say we, it's because me and Ebony were Lauren Wesley Designs, and we've since parted ways on the business side, but not on the friendship side. She's doing real
Oh,
estate, yeah, and I'm doing interior design. Um, I think, I don't know, no, I don't think when we spoke, we were on the show on HGTV, but we got casted for HGTV's Married to Real Estate, and that was season one starting about 2021. I believe we spoke in like 2020. So
gosh.
now
Yeah.
we're going into season four, and I've just been offered the position to be the design producer for the season. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's a
That
really
sounds like
big deal.
yeah, that sounds like a big commitment.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm excited about it. I'm in a space with design where I have my own firm, Jameelah Divine Interiors and Lifestyle. So I have my private clients. But now I'm obviously working with the show in a larger capacity. So now I'm kind of structuring my projects around production, which is good. So when we're not filming, and I have my team as well. So I'm just trying to find that cadence. But I'm really excited about where everything is. And then on top of that, because I'm always a busy beaver, I'm producing a conference for interior designers called the Case Conference, in which you are one of our lovely speakers, and I'm so excited about that.
I am so excited as well. It's so funny because you reminded me, at one point I was doing television. I had my own TV show on
Hmm.
HGTV, and business of design was a thing that was starting to happen. And I had a busy interior design business. And I don't know, somehow, like the more you lean into your systems and the more you have the confidence to stick to the rules
Hmm.
and boundaries are really important for your business, it just worked out fine, where it's not going to
Yeah.
work out if you don't have that discipline. But I remember thinking that you were extremely disciplined last time I spoke to you. Like you really had a clear focus about how to run your projects. And I think that's obviously helping you manage everything you're doing.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
absolutely. Thank
Wow.
you. Absolutely. I would say business of design has had such an impact on my business, even from the beginning with Ebony and I, because when we got our first project, we didn't even have an LLC, and we accepted it, and we were like, okay, so now we need to get an LLC, and we actually need to learn because we did events, and so we're like, we need to learn the ins and outs of interior design. And I was thinking today before we got on the call, I'm like, how did I even hear about business of design? It was so long ago, I think like 2019.
Yeah.
And maybe I Googled it and it came up, and it was just this world of like everything. It's like I didn't have to look elsewhere to get my education, and I still abide by the 15-step process. You know,
Oh.
I'm not even saying in some capacity, I have to run the projects that way
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That's incredibly heartwarming to me personally.
Hmm.
But you reminded me of one of the topics we thought we might get into today, and I wonder for you, if you are a person who just says yes, you have an opportunity and you
Hmm.
just trust your instinct and you say yes, and then you figure out how to do it. Because I noticed one of the things in your application was turning small yeses into big yeses. But let's just
Hmm.
first talk about your relationship to yes?
I take a deep breath because I just was having a conversation with my husband about being more selective. And I'm always very selective. But now that these opportunities are like bigger opportunities, they're more exciting, like they're more impactful. And I'm so grateful that it's so many, but it's like they're all coming at one time.
Mm.
And I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe if you give God something to bless, then he will bless you. And I take those big steps. I jump out there scared and show him, that I trust him. But in that, I did it. And now it's like everything's coming. I'm like, okay, wait. Like now I'm starting to feel a little overwhelmed because it's so, the benefit of saying yes is like 20 times now.
Right,
So
right.
now, and I think you can relate to this, like as you become more successful and you get more opportunities, yes, they're all great opportunities. Yes, they could all turn into something great, but unfortunately, you cannot say yes to everything.
Right.
So now, when you're starting your business, you're like, what is she even talking about? Like, of course, like I would love to get all of those opportunities, but I think it's a beautiful lesson that I'm learning right now about being even more selective with my
Yeah.
yes. But I think what I'm kind of reviewing everything, and I'm looking at what makes me the most scared. And becoming design producer frightened me, and I had never really been scared of an opportunity. I've always been super excited. So it's very confusing to feel fear. Not that necessarily that I can't do it, but it just made me scared. I couldn't really reconcile it. And I feel like that meant that I needed to pursue this because I know that there's so many lessons in
Mm.
this. I have a immense respect for production, TV production, like just being
Oh,
on the
yeah.
cast and seeing all the things. Like it's not an easy job.
It's so
Um,
funny you say that because I
yeah.
always said if I needed to hire an office manager or an assistant, I would steal a producer from a TV show because
hmm
they are like juggling swords every day and it's fast paced and
hmm
it's intense and you have to solve problems immediately on the spot right this second. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's going to be really exciting for you. And the thing
Yeah,
is, if you decide it's not for you, you'll do it for a season or two seasons and then you'll be moving on.
exactly.
How do you translate a yes attitude with some discernment into choosing your clients these days? Because your phone must be ringing off the hook or your emails must be blowing up.
Yes. So, Um, I'm glad you asked that question. Now that I have gotten this position, which, you know, it pays well, and I feel comfortable with the compensation. Now I can be more selective in the projects that I take, even more selective. So just off of the bat, like if someone is coming, and I just made a post like yesterday, it was like if someone says don't send me somebody that charged the arm and the leg. I'm like, yeah, don't send them to me because
Right.
I don't have time to counsel you through why I am valuable. You know, you should know it at this point.
Yeah.
You came to me, you see, I have built a portfolio, I have built the receipts to show what I'm capable of, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
argue about
Yeah.
that.
That
Um,
client's letting you know that they don't value interior design that much. I want this
exactly.
thing to happen in my house, but I don't think it's worth that much money.
Right.
So that's another way of looking at it better not cost an arm and a leg. I don't think it's that important. And you'll never convince
hmm
the client who doesn't think it's important that it is important. Like you said, I love how
Exactly.
you put it. I don't have time to educate them.
I don't like I want to at this point I want to collaborate with clients who understand the value of interior design. They understand how it impacts their life, how it impacts their health, like how they really do understand it. And even if it's like they want to understand, I can work with that. Like they
Mhm.
know, they have an idea of like what this would be. They're dreaming about their new home and all of that, but they're optimistic about it and want to invest because they know that they're worth it. You
Mhm.
know, you have
Yeah.
they have to also understand that they are worth this investment. And so I have created I've pretty much doubled my project minimum so that I put myself in a position where, okay, I committed to that. So anyone that cannot meet that minimum, we are not able to work together at this time. I do have my returning clients and repeat clients where, you know, I'll work them in and we'll figure it out because, you know, clients become like family. But any new clients, I'm kind of funneling it through having a project minimum, and I'm also putting them on a wait list as well because I'm not
Mhm.
going to start any new projects until we get toward like 75% through the
Yeah.
season. And so just creating those boundaries,
Mhm.
um, you know, I call it first world problems. I need my house done in 90 days. It's like that's a first world problem.
That's right.
And we're not going to act like it's the end of the world if you have to wait a couple more months for me to
Right.
give you the best of me.
Right. And
And
what are, by the way,
yeah,
what are the optics to the client when you're putting them on a waiting list? What is that telling them?
that I am in high demand and
Yeah.
that, um, you know, I'm to be, not like, I don't want to say to be respected, but that I respect myself, I respect my business, and I also respect you and
Mhm.
your time because I'm not going to just take your money just to do, and then I drop the ball. I cannot and will not and have not dropped the ball, you know, on any project in totality. You have the dropping of ball throughout the process that the client may not know about, but you clean it up. Um, but yeah, I just, I say yes. I'm always optimistic. I'm always very humble, but my husband has been pushing me to like really see who I am and to walk as such. And so I'm just trying to walk in that and really take care of myself because it's exhausting, you know, your mental health, your physical health, everything. It can get to be a lot. And I don't want to lose my passion and love for this business. So I've had to pace it out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying feels right and feels good and feels healthy to me. And I just feel like this is just the beginning for you of all the opportunities
Thank
that are
you.
going to keep coming your way. There's probably somebody listening, and I think you said this already, who's going, yeah, lucky for her, you know, that's just, I'm not there right now, right? So for that person, what would you tell them about how to create a funnel where their clients are really eager to work with them, even if they're new, even if they're just getting started? Like, what if, like, should, like, what, I guess what I'm thinking of is I met this young designer and she, we were coaching. I had a coaching call and she said, oh, I have to pick this up. It's the office. And I said, what do you mean? She said, it's probably someone calling to book a consultation. Like she wanted to stop coaching and answer the consultation call right there. And I'm like, you know, it's okay to let a client wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
let them know that you're busy. You know, you'll get back to
Yes.
them today, but anyway, are there any other things you would say to that person who's starting out if they wanted to really create the impression that they are sought after and desired?
Well, it's all about how you present yourself. And I have a lot of, obviously, why I started the case conference, I have newer designers that ask me for advice. And my main thing is to have your affairs in order as much as you can. You're not going to have it all figured out, but first impressions are everything. So, what is that process from them getting in contact with you? Like, if they send you a DM, you know, you're not like calling them immediately because I book through DMs. I have no issue, you know, people contacting me, a lot of like celebrities and people like that. They like to just DM you. And especially with them, we have to funnel you back into the process immediately. We're not going to
Right.
be going back and forth and text messaging and
Yeah.
DMing and things like that, but I will get you on the calendar, I pass you to my admin. And it was just me at first. I didn't have
Right.
like a admin to do that. But let's say you don't have an admin. I would funnel you to the booking calendar. Let's get you on the calendar and have set days to do it. Don't have a calendar that's wide open. Tuesday is 9 to 5. Pick any time. Like pick
Yeah.
pick pick a time. I'm gonna do my discovery calls on Mondays
Mm.
or on Wednesdays or whatever. So right then and there, because in actuality, it's not like you have nothing to do. You're either working a job or you have family. You like, let's build it around you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to hustle. Yes, we want to work. We want to be available. But it's just like any relationship, especially, they would think what's coming to mind is like dating advice. It's not playing hard to get, but it's like
You're not getting an
from the
all
get-go.
access pass on
Right.
day one.
Right. We have to work for each other. Like I have done all this work. I've invested in myself. I'm educating myself. I'm doing all of this to gain your trust.
Right.
And so now you also, have to gain mine as well. This is a dual interview. And so let's get the discovery call. Let's talk through some things and have a great way to really get to the meat and potatoes of the dynamic during the discovery call, and we can talk about that in terms of like investment price, all of that, before you get to the consultation. But and then I also have like documents, PDFs that outline my process, pricing, like just explaining it all. I learned that from you. Like, let's not run away from talking about money. Like, let's put it out
As I
there on the
recall, you
table.
were actually really good at talking about money. You were the person who was saying, wait, 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 that isn't how we're going to do this. We've got to make money over here. Is that right? Like that was you, not
Uh,
Ebony.
Probably me. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
That
like
was
it was
probably
you.
me. Yeah. And that's okay because we can't do anything in this society without money, for the most part. It's like it costs to run a business. And so for that new designer, do not be afraid to come out there as a like confident, distinguished designer because in some other capacity you were confident and distinguished and decorated, whether it was corporate America or whatever. So now that you are not in corporate America or you're trying to transition into it, now is not the time to start acting like, oh, I'm just, just trying to, design a little bit and, it's okay. And no, it's not time to get small. Actually, with interior design, it's time to get even bigger and
Yeah.
more confident for
Yeah.
sure.
And sometimes you fake it till you make it.
Mhm,
I think of it
mhm,
like when you're drawing a house, you're designing a house. We used to call them, blueprints. You're making a blueprint for a house, you're drafting a house. The house doesn't exist, but it's not a
mhm.
lie. It's what's
Right.
going to be there. So if I come off like I'm the business owner and I've got a team and I'm all that, that's not a lie. That's me saying,
Mhm.
here's where this is what's going to be happening with me. I'm building toward this. Um,
Exactly.
what project minimum do you set? I should have asked you before because I know everybody will be like, what's the minimum?
So for my fees, the minimum is
Okay. So
$50,000
50,000 in design fees.
in design fees. And
Okay.
I do hourly. However, I am still trying to figure it out. I'll be all ears when you hit the stage at the case conference because I know how you feel about hourly, but I have and I do that and my hourly fee is 275.
Okay.
Um so but I have a project minimum because I can either kind of estimate the design fees, just based off of experience. Things could change if you change the scope, or, I
Mhm.
always explain that. But a house and a project of this magnitude would roughly take this many hours to
Mhm.
do. And I'm looking at it from the project manager's hourly fees, the admin's hourly fees, the junior designer's hourly fees. I'm kind of gauging it, and you'll know after you run a few projects what it's going to look like. For the furnishings budget, I don't, it's hard to say what the minimum is. I would say aspiring my minimum will be 500,000 is what I'm wanting to get to.
Yeah.
But pretty much about 300, 250 to 300
Right. Well, the one
is where
sort
it
of
is.
informs the other. The client who's going to invest $50,000 is not planning on just getting some advice. They're going to need some furniture, right? So the two kind of go
Exactly.
hand in hand. In fact, it's interesting because most of the time I think when people set project management minimums, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say the minimum is set on design fees. I think that's really interesting. Mostly it's like
Mhm.
project minimum is $100,000 in total, or 200,000 in total. But that's an
Mhm.
interesting way to do it because I think that guarantees a certain sized project, which I think is really interesting. What,
It does, and
yeah.
it guarantees my income, what I
Mm-hmm.
want to walk away with, because as you grow, the markup and things like that, I like to dedicate that toward running the business and paying people. I kind of have got it out of my mind that that's something that I walk away with at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Are there any other metrics? I'm thinking if I could go back in time and I'd start over again, I would institute some of these things that seemed completely out of reach to me when I first started. And I think it would have helped me catapult to where I am now so much faster. A project minimum, the calendar scheduling where you only have, small opportunities in the calendar. When I first started, it's like, I can go now. Are you ready now? Can I come now? Would you like a coffee? I'll bring you coffee. Like, I was just such a Labrador retriever, probably terrified, people when I first started out. Is there anything else you can think of that would help someone step into a powerful ownership role when they're new and maybe a little bit scared?
Um, I would say, aside from setting your project minimums, I always tell designers, at the very least, no matter when you're starting, your fees should be at least four figures, if not five figures. You should be charging that,
Mhm.
because no matter what it is, it's going to take time and energy. I would also say, when you're just starting out, don't be afraid to show people who you are. I've built my business through word of mouth, and I've built my business more so from showing who I am person. Like I started my first business at 12, and I actually have clients that I service now that I used to do their hair when I was 12. I did have like an actual viable business, may not have been registered with the Secretary of State, but it was a business. It was a business. But through that, I've always taken people on my journey, highs and lows. You don't get too personal, but you want to make sure that you show people who you are, because I stand by it that people don't buy services and products, they buy you. They
Mm,
resonate with you.
yeah.
And don't be afraid to collaborate. And using that term collaborate, because there could be clients that have a smaller budget, but they really want to get something done in their home. And you may not be at the point where you can charge so much, but if it's a good synergy there, and they're willing to get you those photos that you want, or let me have a little more creativity, or like free reign in this, like let me kind of jam out on this so I can
Yeah.
build my portfolio, and they're willing to collaborate with
Yeah.
you, do that. Like, and that's kind of how I started. That's how a lot of people have started, is to not be afraid to collaborate. I know
Yeah.
we want to jump out the gate with I got to charge this and I got to charge that. Yes, but there's also, even at this stage in my career, I am willing to collaborate with certain clients where I can see that we have a vision that has a lot of synergy. and it would be great for my business and my portfolio, and it's going to be great for your home. It's going to be,
Yeah.
it's a give and take. It's still okay to collaborate, but you don't want to get in bed with those clients that are like, I don't want you to be charging an arm and a leg, and how much is this? And I could find this on Amazon. If you say Amazon or Wayfair, to me, love Amazon, love Wayfair, but that is a trigger word for me to say, okay, no, because you
No.
can do Wayfair and Amazon on your own, because I do that on my own,
Well, right. And the client who's shopping Amazon and Wayfair for interior design is not paying $50,000 in design fees. That is not a thing that's going to happen. So there's just no
Exactly.
convincing that client that they're your client. Before we say
Exactly.
goodbye, because I know you have a huge busy day in front of you, tell us about the conference. And
Yes.
I've got a plane ticket. I'm ready to go to Atlanta, July 13th. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
tell us about the conference. Is it sold out? Who should attend?
We are not all the way sold out yet, but we're getting close. The CASE conference is a conference for new and aspiring interior designers to learn the systems, processes, pricing, marketing, all of those business skills that you need, because you got into it because you knew you were creative. But creativity, as you know, does not get you far. And I think I got this from you, that it is 80% business,
Yeah.
20% design. And so we want to learn that 80%. And it caters to new and aspiring designers of color. Does not mean that you can't, all walks of life can be there, but there's a huge disparity with designers of
Yeah.
color, especially just African Americans account for 2% of interior designers in the US. And I think that that is
Wow.
alarming. I would think that it's way more, because I've seen so many amazing designers.
Right.
And then I would say I think it's about 15. That's accounts for all designers of color, 15%.
Wow.
And so,
I had no idea. I interviewed the authors of Afro Chic. Are you familiar
mhm,
with the book? And
yes. Hmm.
that book is spectacular. I read it cover to
Hmm.
cover, and I really recommend that book. In fact, I think I have a couple copies of it. I might bring them to Atlanta for you.
Yes. Okay.
I really recommend that book. I didn't realize 2% of interior designers were of co women of color or people of color.
Yes. And I
Mm.
don't think that it is because it's racism or discrimination. I don't really see it that way. I see it as lack of access and lack of knowledge and lack of confidence.
Yeah, maybe it's
That
just
you
never even
can,
been yeah, it's never been an
yeah,
option.
and it's never been an option. You didn't know that you could do it. You didn't know that these resources were available.
Right.
And so I'm putting those resources in front of, you know, in front of this audience to get them to understand showrooms, working with showrooms, working with vendors. You do not and should not be hauling furniture in the back of your car. There's logistics, there's
Right.
receiving, there's delivery, inspection, also knowing how to charge and knowing that you can charge
Yeah.
this, getting paid for your consultations. That's what Kimberly taught me about paid consultations. And I do charge 1,500 for my consultations now.
Love it.
And I've never had pushback from it,
Nope.
surprisingly. I've
No.
never had pushback because it vets, So getting that confidence to show up in the marketplace with all of the tools to know that you can do it. There's nobody stopping you. No one's going to be slamming the door in your face. It's actually a world of people who really want to help you,
Yeah.
and they're there to support you. But
Yeah.
I know with the reps and showroom managers, they're like, yeah, nobody, like, they don't ask us, or they don't come to
Right.
us. They just try to do it online. Like, I'm here for you. Like, they're
No.
screaming from the rooftops, I'm here for you to
Yeah.
help you manage your orders and your projects and all of that. So we're laying it all out. We have some amazing speakers. You are one of them. We just have a jam-packed 2 days of education. Like it's
Okay.
not the woo woo, oh, you got to believe in yourself. I think we'll take about 15 minutes to acknowledge that you have to believe in yourself. And then after that, we
Yeah.
are getting to the business
Yeah.
of running an interior design
Yeah.
firm,
The business of design. I love it.
the
I'm so
business of
happy for you.
design.
I'm super excited to be part of the conference. You just go out there and teach everybody. You're such a beautiful example of what can happen when you put yourself out there, Jameelah. We
Thank
like to
you.
end every episode, as you know, with design intervention. Just one final piece of advice you want to leave everybody with.
What is my design intervention?
I know what you wrote on your
Um,
application because I'm cheating because I have it right here in front of me. Do you want me to tell you?
and I could cheat too. Let me see
I
what it
always look
was.
forward to the design intervention because I always feel like, oh, it's just something that just lifts me up, and I really like yours.
What I know I have it right here because I had a really good one. I do remember putting a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. My design intervention is never be more concerned about your client's money than your own. And what that means is when you're building out your invoices or you're pricing things out, don't get so obsessed about, oh, that's just too much. Like if that's what they asked for, if that's what they signed up for, give it to them and give them the opportunity to say yes or to say no.
That's
So
right.
don't make those decisions for your clients. Let them make that decision
That's right.
and just be more concerned about your profitability in
I
your business.
absolutely. I love it all. I'm
Mhm.
so excited to hang out with you in Atlanta. Thank you very much for taking time to do this today.
Absolutely.
All
And
right.
before I go, I want to let your audience know that if they want to attend the conference and come hang out with Kimberly and myself and Erica Ward and Amber Guyton of Blessed Little Bungalow and all the other amazing speakers, I am giving the BOD listeners 15% off. So they can
Oh, I like
go
that.
to thecaseconference.com and they can use code BOD to get 15% off their ticket.
Okay, I love it. Code BOD, 15% off. If you're driving, don't worry. It's all this information is going to be in the show notes. So just go to
Okay.
businessofdesign.com and click there and get your ticket for the CASE conference. I'm looking forward to it, sweetie. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right, have a great day.
You too.
Bye.